there'll be baby no more, yeah. Oh yes, there'll be baby no more, yeah. Oh, there'll be no more, you and I.
Hey guys, welcome to a new stream of tactics. Today I'm going to do the stream 1 hour earlier for two reasons. One is I don't want you to lose the end of the candidates round. But most importantly, I want to go for a walk with my dog later when there's still sun. So yeah, I'm trying to do this 1 hour earlier. Sorry. Anyway, it's an important round today. Caruana is playing Mamedyarov, so I think I will be in touch with the round in my smartphone anyway. It's probably not very focused on the puzzles. Or maybe I can. Let me just, candidates tournament. Let me just have the games in my cell phone, so just I notice if something happens. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is tactics, of course. I didn't change the name of the stream. It's still Gold 2600. I think after the last few weeks I should probably rename it to Gold not to get below 2500. Look at this, oh man, it's all way down. But okay, anyway, let's try anyway. So in this first position, what do we have? We have pawn down, but what a pawn here, oh man, and what a knight. And okay, the pawn is defended, but our rook is attacked. But the pawn is not attacked, so just moving the rook should not be a problem. Now this king is a little bit caged in here. We have control over all of these squares, so rook b3 is definitely a move that makes sense to, in a way, trap the king. If he moves the bishop, then c7 followed by rook b8 might be really strong. Now our king is also not so safe because this rook is here, but I think the most important thing in this position is this rook is out of play, although it's doing a really good job defending that. Otherwise this would be checkmate, which suggests, by the way, that a move that comes to mind is to play c7 anyway. By anyway I mean no matter this threat. If I play c7 and he takes the rook, I go rook d8 check, and we promote. If he takes a rook, we promote, of course, and if he plays king b7, we promote with check, and at least we take the rook. You know, if this bishop was in this diagonal, a different story could be happening, because then he has this checkmating pattern. But with this bishop here, and after bishop takes, I think he has no time to check us a million times. We just escape. Oh, by the way, that wasn't checkmate in the other line as well. Hey Nikolai, how you doing? So I think c7 is a really strong move, really strong. Actually, what's the difference? Bishop e7, rook d8 maybe. Okay, both of them have their issues. First of all, bishop e7, I think it allows rook b3, and now the bishop can never block. Yeah, rook f8, that might be the best option for black. As I mentioned, if I go here, he has a5, so c7, bishop e7, rook b3, I think we're just winning. Rook b8 checkmate is unstoppable. So after c7, I guess rook f to f8. But then we can... no, we cannot. Yeah, we can just take the exchange, because he cannot take on c3 because of rook d8. So he has to take back with the rook. And then we're an exchange up for a pawn. Okay, Nikolai. Send me a whisper or something. Yeah, I guess that exchange is really enough. It's an exchange for a pawn, still not entirely sure, but the pawn... I mean, if we save our c3 rook, the pawn on c7 is going to be really strong. So c7, rook f8, knight takes, rook takes, just rook c4, not even rook b3, just rook c4 should be good enough. Strange rook b3, I guess you mean in the first move, because in this line I will keep c7 defended, then with rook c4. Rook b3, a5, rook b2, are you suggesting? I mean, I think c7 wins. I'm gonna go c7, but I just want to see your idea. Rook b3, a5, rook b2, and what's the idea after rook takes? Okay, I'll go c7. Oh, I didn't consider at all this check, because then he can't guard the c file, he says. I'm not sure, Snabel Joe. Nikolai, I've received your whisper. I will have a look at that after the stream, not now, okay? Because then he can't guard on the c file. I'm trying to understand what the Snavel Joe said. Rook b3, a5, rook b2, rook takes b2. And then c7, rook c2. Well, not bishop e7, I mean. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay, I didn't see this check, so I guess we just take it. And now this Is this winning? No. We should do something different. We should do something different. I guess this, right? And then if king here, rook b8. That should win, because then he cannot take our knight. His rook is hanging, so I'm just going to promote. Maybe he has g6, but then we promote, and after rook takes, his bishop is hanging, so we're our full rook up. So I guess rook b1 is decent here. Do I have anything better? No, I think I'm gonna go rook b1. And this, and I failed the puzzle. Oh my goodness. I guess he has bishop e5. I missed bishop e5. Oh, 16 points that I lost already. Damn, what a way to start. Okay, so rook b8 seemed winning. But then he has rook c8, of course. Rook c8. What am I thinking? So what's the winning attempt here? Rook b7, rook c8 anyway. What am I missing? I mean, I played rook b1. I got lucky that rook b1 was a good move. I played rook b1 thinking rook b8 was the idea. Now, if rook b8 is not the idea, I'm not sure. Knight f4 is an interesting way to defend this, but he doesn't have to take it. What after rook c8 anyway? What after rook c8 in any line? Well, I guess knight f4 makes some sense, because after rook c8 we can play rook c1, maybe? But then at least he has 2 pawns for the piece. Even if we win the piece, I'm not sure of that endgame. Oh! Rook d1 check now. Yeah, come on. Yeah, so rook d1 to force the king out, and then rook d1 check. Yeah. Absolutely easy. Absolutely easy. Damn. Ah. Terrible. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah. Nothing like starting losing points. Okay. What do we have here? Seems like I saw that but dismissed it early on. Shit. Okay, something should happen in this diagonal, something should happen. Although the bishop is hanging. Well, hanging, I mean, he can take it. We could also take here, and if takes bishop here, he has knight back, and then maybe c5, c6, something like that. And the point is, after takes, if he takes immediately, we might have some knight takes d7. Might. Because then if knight takes here, I guess we take here, he can take on e3, no, he cannot. So the knight is trapped. And we're gonna end up a piece up. So knight takes e5 makes some sense. And if he takes, then bishop b4, winning an exchange, unless he plays, well, c5 doesn't make sense, unless he plays knight d6, then c5, if the knight moves, c6 follows. So I really like this. Not sure if there's something else. I'm worried that I'm doing the problems too fast. It's the most forcing line. I mean, taking with the bishop, I don't see a reason to take with the bishop. So I think bishop takes e5, otherwise he always has knight takes e3. Yeah, true, he has that. But we shouldn't be scared, we should calculate. Because if I take with the bishop, I don't see what do I win after takes. What's the point of giving up the bishop pair? But in the other line, of course, we have to calculate what happens after knight takes e3, but I think it works well for us. And the idea of knight takes e5 is if he takes it back, we have something. We're winning an exchange with bishop b4. So I think after knight takes, if he doesn't want to lose the exchange, he has to take the bishop. But then we take the bishop on d7, forking the two rooks. So and we're temporarily a piece up, so he cannot like take our knight because we take his knight and we're a piece up. So he has to take the rook. Then we take one rook. I'm not sure which one. I think this one. And then his knight is trapped. e3 is defended twice. So he has to... Our knight is trapped as well. Ah no, he has e7, e6 square. So he has to take our knight, we take his knight, we're a piece up. So yeah, I think knight takes e3 is not working for him. And actually he doesn't do it because he rather lose an exchange than a piece. And now I'm seeing another idea that we didn't consider. I consider bishop here, knight here, c5 followed by c6, but now I'm seeing bishop takes followed by bishop b4. Isn't that much clearer? Bishop takes, it's totally forced, he has to take back, I don't see any good intermediate moves. And then bishop b4. And even if he uses the f file, we take the rook. And then we play rook f1. So I think that's clean compared to immediate bishop b4. Bishop b4, knight e6, I guess after c5 he has something. Maybe some a5, and if bishop a3, knight b5. Yeah, that might be the case. So I guess I have to take the knight and then play bishop b4. And now I take the exchange. Okay, I was lucky because I didn't see everything in the first move. Yeah, I thought here we had this and this, but I guess he has this tricky idea. And if we want to keep the threat, we need to keep the bishop in this diagonal, then he threatens our bishop. So if we go here, he has this. And still I'm not sure if this is good for him. Maybe that's not the solution for him. Because the knight is trapped. No, e4 doesn't quite work. Maybe here? No, doesn't quite work either. What was the issue with his pawn blocking your bishop? His pawn blocking your bishop. You mean like here? The issue is I take en passant and everything's hanging here. So I think knight e6 is required, but I'm not sure now what's black's defense after this. I guess there's something I didn't see, and I'm still not seeing. So this is interesting. Why doesn't this work for white? Maybe he has something better than knight e6 here. It's hard to believe. Oh, of course. I'm totally blind. Knight c5. Oh. Yeah, okay, he had knight c5. I mean, I was lucky. I didn't see this, but of course I saw the other line. I was so simple and so clean that I went for it, but I didn't see this defense here. And of course this defense. If we go here, he just defends the knight, and yeah, we can take a pawn, but I'm not sure if we can take it. Probably the queen gets trapped. So there's still bishop c5, queen b7, but doesn't feel right. Okay, and queen takes c7, maybe better. Yeah, but rook b7 instead. I mean, we're not even winning that pawn, probably. Let's continue. Move on. We got 3 points back. Okay, here it feels like something should happen around these guys over here, maybe also this guy. Like the queen is defending this, the knight as well, but they're also defending this. Also, this queen doesn't have a lot of squares. So knight g4 is a nice idea. We cannot sack, we cannot sacrifice, but of course we need to calculate the forcing lines first. Although maybe we can continue with knight takes e4 using the ping, but I mean it's 2 pawns for the piece. What's the material count anyway in the first place? It's totally equal. So I don't believe that. And after this, after takes and this, knight g4, he just goes back. He only has that square back, but he goes back, and I think he's safe because I don't have a follow-up. I don't have a queen b6 check. Now, if I go knight g4 first, as Neville Joe is asking, can he even defend? Maybe not, yeah, maybe not. It seems like a really strong move because it's not that I'm winning a pawn, I'm threatening to win the queen. So yeah, knight g4, how does he defend? He can counter on my queen. Probably knight c4 is a terrible move. But knight b3, if I take on f2 with check, he has to move the king to h1, because if he takes, I take the rook with check, and then because of my bishop here he can't go queen f1. So okay, that's a forcing line. Knight g4, knight b3, bishop takes f2, check, king h1 is forced. And if I take his queen, he takes my queen, I take a rook. So at least I'm an exchange up. That should be good. Okay, I'm gonna play knight g4. I mean, I see no good defense. If he moves the king first, knight takes f2 is killing. I don't see, he doesn't have a defense, right? Can he do something better than counter-attacking on my queen? Knight f1 is another way to counter, but I think it's pretty much the same. Okay, I'm gonna go knight g4. Okay, he went knight f1, so I thought it was pretty much the same. Now let's see if that's the case. Now he has, yeah, it's not the same, and I should have seen it. Now if I take with check, he takes, and if I take his rook, it's not check. That's the difference. But still I'm winning an exchange there, I think. So I think that's the best I can do. I could also go knight takes f2, which seems promising, but I think there he goes bishop e3. Then it's not easy anymore. I could also take the rook and then play knight takes f2. But still, bishop e3, and even if I take his queen, he takes here, it's not that easy. So I think I just have to take here, he takes, I take the rook, Simon exchange up, and his queen still attacked. And he doesn't have a lot of squares, probably has to allow a queen trade. Best case scenario for him. Bishop d3 when? Now? Like moving the, I mean, okay, I understand. We save our queen. We could do it with other moves, not bishop d3, like queen f6, queen e7. The problem is he's just in time to defend. He has a lot of pieces on the e3 square, so I think I have to take now. It's now or never. And I take the exchange, and the problem doesn't continue, fortunately, because I'm very capable of not being able to solve what happens after crazy moves like bishop h6 or something. Okay. Well, after bishop h6, I'm able, I think. So next, I guess we're black again. Maybe from the same game? No, it's not. No, it's not. So if we take here, his queen will be undefended, right? The most forcing line takes, that undefends his queen, so then I can take twice on d4. But is it good enough to win a pawn, or do we have additional threats? Like if we take first with the rook, we might have some strong threat on f2, but we gave up an exchange. So maybe we have something better. Maybe we have something better, but our rook is hanging on a8, so probably rook takes a1 is the first move anyway. It makes a lot of sense, unless he has an intermediate move like knight b5 that works, but I don't think so, because we can even take on b1. So rook takes a1, knight b5, I just take on b1, I think. Which suggests that we also might have some ideas on b1. Anyway, rook takes, bishop takes, I think it's the only move. And then I want to take twice on d4. It's important to see that we are already a pawn down. So even if we win a pawn on d4, we might have something strong. We better have something strong after that. Okay, so rook a1, bishop a1. Let's say rook takes d4. E takes d4 is forced. Oh, main sequence 12 is hosting. Thank you, buddy. Snable Joe says, I'm finding that these combinations with rooks and minors often imply sacking the rook first for some reason. Well, in this case, I think I would sack the rook, but I think it's very specific to the position. It depends on the position. It depends whether you want to end up with a bishop or a rook there. In this case, I think I prefer the bishop to attack f2, because the rook on d4 is nice, but I don't see what's threatening. So I think rook a1, bishop a1, rook takes d4. He has to take, maybe he has time to play like f3 or something like that. Hard to calculate. Okay, main sequence, thank you. Thank you for not spoiling it. So after rook takes d4, e takes d4, maybe he has f3 as I mentioned. Bishop takes d4, with threatening a lot of stuff. Or maybe not, we're only threatening f2, it's hard to defend, but it's just one check. I mean, it's just one pawn and one check. Unless we take with the knight. Complicated, complicated. Maybe we do have, well, I'm sure we have stronger ideas in this position that I'm missing. So, but I think all of them must start with rook a1. Rook takes rook. Should they? Because if I start taking on d4 and he takes on a8, what am I gaining? That I can take on b4? I can't believe it. Like rook takes d4, rook takes a8, rook takes b4, rook takes b8. No, that cannot work. So I guess the first move, at risk of failing, I'm gonna do the first move. And now I'll take it from here. So we have this idea. We also have this idea. Do we have some other ideas? I'm not seeing anything. Like I cannot sack here. I probably cannot sacrifice here either. Doesn't make sense. So if rook takes f3, I have to think. Okay, after rook takes, I'm seeing at least two moves, f3 and pawn takes, that I'm not sure how to assess. And that scares me. After f3, we might have knight g3, maybe. Complicated. Hey, main sequence, thanks for the follow as well. On the other hand, we don't have a lot of options here, I think. Like, bishop h6 is a little bit slow, one move slow. Let's say I take with the bishop first. Still f3 is possible, I guess. Wow, I'm confused. Can we sacrifice on c3? Doesn't make sense. King takes f2, king takes f2. Okay, let's see line per line. If I take with the rook, rook takes d4, pawn takes d4, bishop takes d4, f2 can't be defended as far as I see, but we no longer have a rook, so to attack we should use our queen. White is a little bit discoordinated, but on the other hand, the knight is defended on b1, c3 is strongly defended. c3 is really strongly defended. The bishop on a1 is not defended, but it's hard to attack. I also thought about ideas like bishop g4, e5, but I'm just encouraging him to play f3, which is one of the most annoying moves in this position. I'm trying to see what happens after rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Bishop takes d4. True that, king is the most undefended piece, and it's in the middle of the board. I'm trying to calculate. After bishop f2, if he goes to e2, he must be killed. And if he goes to the d line and I check him, then I have attack with my bishop as well. Yeah, the two bishops are awesome in combination with the knight and the queen. So I cannot calculate everything in every order, but I will assume we're winning there. Wouldn't be, but what if I take with the bishop and end up with the rook? Then I don't have an immediate check threat. So I guess I'm gonna take with the rook, but still, what happens after f3? I gotta solve that. I gotta solve that. Knight to g3 doesn't feel right, but maybe it is, because he cannot take the knight. Okay, okay. So rook takes d4, if f3, knight g3, he cannot take the knight because he's checkmated. Well, maybe not checkmate, maybe checkmated is a strong word, but after queen h3, queen g3, king e2, bishop d3, king has to go to the d file, and then I guess I just move queen f2 or rook back. Rook takes f3, rook takes b4. Yeah, rook takes b4 is also possible. And then if he takes my knight... Hi, by the way, Clampon. Welcome. Interesting idea, rook takes b4. I saw it in the other line, didn't see it here. Yeah, I guess what I'm worried is if he, instead of taking my rook, threatens my knight and gets the piece back. After rook takes b4, he can take the piece back with pawn takes knight. But I guess bishop takes on e4 is 92 then. Not sure of that line. Still have the feeling that rook takes d4 makes more sense than bishop takes. But of course, giving up material without being sure is a little bit risky. But you know what? I've been too much time with this problem. Maybe, I mean, I'm in only 2510, so this is the one where I'm going to definitely go below 2500 if I fail. Today it's my lucky day. Today is my lucky day. Let's have a look at the lines. He has to, well, he doesn't have to take that. That's on one hand. But if he takes, I have the feeling that he's close to be killed. For example, if he goes here after this check, here, and this is only move, I have the feeling that we might checkmate him. Maybe this first, I'm not sure. This he has to go back because here we win the queen at least. I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure of this position. I'm still not sure. I mean, I didn't see it clearly. Maybe there's something better than this, but... Or maybe we go here. Because the ping's still there, and then we take that rook at some point. Yeah, knight f2 probably is better, because then we can go like here, for example, and yeah, maybe this is not forced, but yeah, at least we could argue that we're going to take that rook. So yeah, knight f2 seems better. But here I'm not sure, because rook takes b4, he takes his piece back, and even if I take here with threats, after this I'm not sure. Probably this is not good for me, and neither should be this, I guess. So I guess after f3, I was trying to see what happens here. I mean, I'm threatening the rook. If he takes the rook, it's similar, I guess, to the... Oh, no, actually, I take the rook. Yeah, that's it. I take the rook. And I think he has to save the rook then. Because if he takes my rook, I take his rook, I'm a piece up. The thing is, if he takes, he's in a world of trouble here. I guess he has to go here, because here I have queen f2 check, which probably wins on the spot. And here... I'm not sure. I can just move the rook out, at least. It feels really wrong for him. Like, maybe I could take this or this with check and not mind losing the rook. It feels really scary. And if he doesn't take the knight, I guess he has to go here. So maybe knight g3 is the move. And then I just go back, because I still have the same threats, and I'm still a piece up. But still, a lot to calculate here, like e4, for example. So I was very lucky here, because for me, calculating a position like this would take like more than 40 minutes, I think. Anyway, let's continue. Rook to g3 in a position where we're a pawn down, but we do have the bishop pair. Okay, this majority over here is a little bit scary, but our bishop is doing a great job there, blocking everything. Nice one. Also controlling this knight. Now this is on pre, and we don't have time to take here and take two pieces for the rook, which we would like, but we can do this, right? Where's the rook going? Here. Only move. So that's a forcing move. I would like to calculate. Then we might have g5, but the knight still has this... No, he doesn't. Yes, he has. Interesting. So it seems like some problems, like white might have some problems with these pieces over here. So bishop here, only move. Pawn to g5, as far as I see, only move. No, it's not only move 92, because he has knight h5, and my bishop is also trapped on h4. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Also bishop here to play g5, maybe a little bit slow. What else do we have? We have a rook that's not playing. Hey there, Terrible Joe. Put that in your pipe. Nice emoji there. Here's Terrible Joe. Here's my one subscriber. My at least the one that is important. My most important subscriber is in the house. E3 complicated. E3 in the first move, you mean? E3? What happens if he takes my bishop? Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe giving up pieces. E3, rook takes E3. Ah, no. But he's gonna... Ah, because what's the point after rook takes? He can take... I mean, if we give up a piece, he will take it. And then worst case scenario, he gives the piece back, if necessary. if necessary, that I think it's not necessary. So no, I guess bishop h4 makes more sense, unless we have something forced after bishop takes, bishop takes. e3, e2, but I mean, e1 is protected. What's our threat anyway? e3, rook takes, e2, rook e1, next move is knight takes, e2. I'm not your boss, Clampon, I'm just saying that I don't see e3, e2 as a strong idea unless we prepare it. And I'm not willing to give up a piece for that. But I mean, bishop h4, rook e3, and then g5, f4 makes sense to me. g5, he might try g3 though, instead of moving the knight, but if he moves the knight, no matter h5 or e2, I play f4, and his rook is trapped, so he's got to take on f4, give up a piece for 2 pawns. That might even not be bad for him, because we were already a pawn down, so it would be 3 pawns for the piece. Yeah, terrible. That's my only idea so far, bishop h4 followed by g5, but if f4 is our only idea after that, we're going to have one piece for 3 pawns, and I'm not sure if that's enough. What else could we do? Even if rook takes e5 works in the first move, even if that works, he's not gonna take here and allow bishop takes f4, of course. So he's gonna take here. Do we have something in that line? Because that's also a forcing line. Rook takes e5, rook takes g5. Then I guess we need to move our rook. I mean, I was thinking a beautiful line that is not working. Oh, maybe it is working. Oh, look at this. Rook takes e5, h6, yeah, h6 weakens g6. So I think, yeah, as you say, h4 is good. Then he takes on g6. No, but I'm seeing this. Rook takes only move. King f6. Whoa. The idea being, if he takes my rook with check, I take his rook, and the knight has no squares, which is beautiful on one hand, but on the other hand he plays g3 and then he has a square and he defended the knight. So that would be beautiful. The knight can be trapped in some lines, but not in that one. And by the way, after rook takes, king f6, he can go back to g3, and yeah, I don't see anything particularly good. And after rook takes, the idea e3 still doesn't work, I think. He just takes a rook, and we don't have enough. Oh, well, wait. I want an exchange safely, please. You want to sack and exchange safely? Nah, ain't gonna happen. Don't interrupt me. So h6 is interesting, because after h4 we can take the knight. He has to take back. And we're still not getting anything. So I think I'm gonna default back to bishop h4 idea. Bishop h4, rook e3. Let's try to find something there. Now, if I sack the exchange now, it doesn't make sense, because the knight will not be on pre. And if I follow up with g5, yeah, g5 might be the idea, but yeah, he has g3, he has knight h5, he has knight e2. I see at least 3 moves that seem to work for him. I think g3 is what I would play anyway. Bishop h4, rook e3, g5, g3. Oh, but then I take the knight and I'm threatening the rook. No, g3 is not working. Bishop h4, rook e3, g5, knight e2. I have f4. Yeah, Snable, that's what I said before. In that line, bishop h4, rook e3, g5, knight e2, f4, he sacrifices a piece for 2 pawns on f4. He's forced to. Like, I would sack the knight probably. Although I think there's not much of a difference. Knight takes f4, pawn takes f4, bishop takes f4. And then I have a piece, yeah, I have the bishop on c4, but he has 3 pawns. And I'm not sure that's good for us. I'm not really sure. I don't know how to assess that position. Maybe I don't have anything better than that, but I would like to. So after bishop h4, rook e3, g5, he cannot go g3. Okay, that's good. That's good. If he goes knight e2, his rook might be a little bit trapped. And but I don't see anything better than f4 there. And after bishop h4, rook e3, g5, he can go knight h5, which with ideas of jumping to f6. And there I don't see anything better than f4 again. By the way, we're all blind, I think, because in all those lines after f4 he has rook takes e4. And I think that's enough for him, because I don't know, maybe bishop d5 is a good follow-up there. Yes. Okay, so let's see the bishop h4, rook e3, g5, knight h5 line. If I go f4, he can take on e4. And after bishop e5, rook back to e1. I mean, if he goes knight h5, his rook is not trapped. So I don't like that. I don't like that. Gotta have something. I have to have something stronger than that. I can play c5 to open the b file and use the only piece I didn't use in these lines, but I don't see how to use it. What else? Okay, Clown Pong, you also don't see anything. I mean, king g6 can't be the refutation to knight h5. And he's also not forced to play g4 and defend the knight. He can jump to f6. He can do knight f6 after king g6. Because we have the pawn on g5, so we're no longer defending f6. So yeah, I don't see anything good in that line. So I'm trying to think back in the rook takes e5, rook takes g5 line. Just h3, what can he do to guard rook takes e5 and taking the knight? h6 you mean, Snable. He can do h4. But that's a good point. We're threatening something. h6, and we're renewing the threat of taking here, and he can take with the rook back, I guess. Well, maybe he can. No, he cannot. So h6 definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense. The problem is after h4, if we take on h4, he takes on g6. If we take the bishop, he takes on g5 with the pawn. Knight f6, I sack the exchange. No, Clown Pong, in the line you were saying the bishop cannot take on f6. The line where you were saying was bishop h4, rook e3, g5, knight h5, king g6. So I say knight f6 there. And since you played g5, the bishop on h4 is no longer attacking f6. And if you sack the exchange, he takes back with the pawn, defending the knight. So I think knight f6 is perfectly fine in that line. So h6, h4, h6 seems nice. h6 threatens rook takes e5. So what can he do besides h4? He has no moves with the knight. That's good. And if he moves the bishop out of the threat, I guess we just threaten the bishop again until he can't keep it safe. So I guess h4 is his only chance. So let's have a look at that, because it feels that we might have something there. Maybe we can combine ideas of all the lines. After h6, h4, maybe we can take on h4, forcing the rook to take on g6, and then we have some e3 ideas. No, those can't work. Oh, bishop g5. He still has rook d6. For a moment I was thinking h6, h4, bishop takes, rook takes g6, bishop back to g5, threatening to take the knight and the rook, but the rook has still one square on d6, but then I guess we take the bishop and the knight. We just traded a couple of pawns to get it. And he doesn't have, well, he can take on c6 then. So let's see how the line goes. h6, h4, bishop takes h4, rook takes g6, that's forced, bishop back to g5, rook d6, rook takes e5, pawn takes, bishop takes. And we're gonna win the pawn on e5, so even if he wins the pawn on c6, maybe we don't win the pawn on e5. That's annoying. If we need to go... yeah, that's annoying. I'm not even sure if we're good in that line. Jordan 404 is following. Thank you, buddy. Okay, so once again, h6, h4. If I take on h4 and go back to g5, he has rook to d6. I'm not a huge fan of that, but maybe I don't have anything better. Maybe. That's too crazy, but maybe I take the bishop first. No, it's kind of transposing. Forcing h4 seems bad. Feels like puzzle should be about discombobulating his rook and knight. Yes, but on the other hand, h6 is a very forcing move. And rook takes e5 is also a forcing move. It forces rook takes bishop. But I don't see a clear follow-up after after rook takes bishop, besides moving the rook back. So it feels like I'm trading pieces, so that line cannot work. So I only see either bishop h4 or h6. Is there any other? Well, we have also bishop h6. Yeah, we also have bishop h6. I said this move in the at the beginning and didn't consider it anymore. And yeah, why not bishop h6? I mean, if we want to keep the threat of taking the bishop and then the knight without allowing rook takes bishop, then bishop h6 has to be the move. Because we stated that he cannot do anything to prevent rook takes followed by bishop takes knight. So yeah, let's just not weaken g6. Let's just not give him anything. We just play bishop h6, next move is rook takes bishop. Yeah, I think that seems like a solution. If he goes a6, you just move the rook and no problem at all. Yeah, I'm gonna move bishop h6. It feels right. It feels right. And he already sacrifices the piece. So problem solved. Finally, it wasn't that hard. Once you realize that the threat we do have is unstoppable, you just simply keep it without giving him anything. Yeah. It's actually not so easy. It's only easy once you see the idea. Okay, good one. Let's continue. It's been 1 hour of stream so far, so I'm gonna do a small break and try to grab a coffee or something. I'll be back in a minute. But here you have the next puzzle if you want to start thinking about it. I'll be right back. Okay, so bishop takes e7 looks nasty enough. Are you talking about this position? Okay, let's see, what do we have here? We have a space. That we have. We have a lot of space, and we also have all of our pieces going to the king side. That's good. That's good. We probably have to attack, but we have some interesting moves here, right? And bishop takes e7, says Snailjolt. Yeah, that's really interesting. The idea being we have a fork then, if he takes. And if he doesn't take, well, if he doesn't take, we might play d6 anyway after that. I guess he cannot take, but he has some options, like move the queen, I don't know where though, queen here, f6 at some point, but everything is uncomfortable for black. That being said, if we take here and he can just do nothing, like move the queen or play bishop f8 or something like that, we are just winning our pawn back. We're just winning our pawn back because we're a pawn down. So I would prefer to attack. And to attack, I think e6 is a decent move. Maybe we do have better, but e6 is definitely annoying. Because if he doesn't take it, we're gonna open his king. Well, maybe he has knight f8 to prevent queen e6 after that. But of course pawn takes, because of the rook here, he has to take back. So that's one option, e6. And if he takes and I take with check, he might be in some trouble after d6. For example, if he escapes to h8, I could play d6. Even I could even give my queen up for two rooks. He has two pieces on f8, so... But then I have 95. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's actually mate, says Snailjolt. I don't see the mate. I might be blind. Hi, Nabil Glassan. Snailjolt, you meaning this position ends in mate, or that my line with e6 is mate? Because I didn't see the mate in my line. Check. Well, one annoying thing after e6, if he takes d6, d6 knight f8, you mean e6 knight f8 takes queen e6 is mate. Yeah, sure, yeah, that's yes, that's true, that line is mate. So after e6 knight f8 doesn't feel like the best idea. But if he moves the knight somewhere else, not a lot of options though. We take on f7, he takes back, and after the check he only has f8, and then I guess rook e4 wins on the spot. Or knight e5, rook e4 first, I think. No, it's not knight takes queen. Yeah, and then he has a squares. Yes. Oh, you're driving me crazy. Yeah, of course I thought rook knight f8 to defend the e6 square. Absolutely. Hi, mate streak. Maybe you can help here because we're debating whether there's a mate or not. So if you are in a streak, Okay. Anyway, I have the feeling that e6 is a way to go. I don't think knight f8 is the best defense, but might be. I thought it was a bit relevant if it's forcing lines. Yeah, e6 is definitely forcing, but not a lot. Like, he has some options. He has knight f8, as we mentioned, and he has also takes. But if he takes after queen takes, if he goes out, I would bet on... I'm not sure what I would bet on. I was thinking d6 in that position, but now I'm not sure. After pawn takes, if we take twice on e8, he has knight f8. Because if bishop f8, we have bishop h6, but after knight f8, maybe knight e5, that would be crazy. I don't know if you guys are following me. Advance takes, queen check, king h8, d6, pawn takes, queen takes e8 check, rook takes, knight f8, knight to e5. If he takes with the bishop, I think bishop h6 is not working, so maybe I have to take on f8 first. But if he takes with the pawn, then we double rooks on the 8th. That's too crazy of a line. That's too crazy. I think I have the feeling I missed like 3 or 4 moves through the line. What else do we have for the first move? Well, we already said bishop takes is good, but it might only win the pawn back after, I don't know, any move by him. Still, bishop e7 is strong because we're removing a pawn. This becomes passed pawn, so nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't feel forcing. If he plays like here, for example, he might have a blockade. He's already blockading the d pawn. And if we go e6 after that, he might be prepared. He could even play here. I don't know. So clown pawn money is on bishop takes e7. I wouldn't put my money on bishop takes e7, but I'm definitely putting my rating. I have the feeling that e6 must work. It's like it would be unfair if it's not working. Hey, Death Slave and Mikey 1893 have followed. Thank you guys. Hope you like the stream. So e6, it would be unfair if e6 doesn't work. I don't know if you saw the other day the press conference by Grishuk, where he said, okay, this position, if white doesn't have a checkmate here, he said something like, I didn't calculate everything, but if white doesn't have a checkmate here, I quit chess. So it's kind of the same. I mean, if e6 doesn't win here, that would be unfair. That would be unfair. Worst moves are bishop f4 and queen b5. Just to consider and dismiss. Thank you, Snable Joe. Actually, bishop f4, I thought about it. It's not as bad as it seems, because then e6, sacrificing the bishop on f4, would be interesting. Queen b5, yeah. I think those are not the worst moves. I mean, I think bishop h6 is arguably one of the worst moves. Probably rook d4 is the worst, because we don't have a move to lose our queen. Anyway, bishop takes e7. He has like plenty of options to not take the bishop. The fact is, if he takes the bishop and we play d6, we're winning, material at least. So after bishop takes, bishop takes e7, it's definitely a good option, because if if he doesn't have anything strong, we might go e6 after that anyway. If he doesn't take our bishop, we can still play e6 later. So bishop takes e7 is definitely a good move. But I don't want that to be the solution, and that's an internal problem I'm having now. Queen e3, positional, yeah, positional as well. Good one, queen e3, it's a good positional approach. Then bishop h6, yeah. What a slow attack. Well, h4, h5 as well. Now that h4 is trendy. Okay, I think I'm gonna play one of these two, bishop takes e7 or e6, and I'm gonna do it randomly because I'm suddenly not calculating anything. Let me see, e6, if he takes, check. If king h8, do I have something better than d6? d6, pawn takes twice, knight f8, if bishop e7, queen d7. It feels good, but it's not. I might still have some trick with the knight. Okay, I think I'm not able to calculate everything up front in the e6 line, but I still have the feeling that e6 might be the solution. Now, on the other hand, after e6, he might have... No, he doesn't have this, definitely, because of the threat on the rook. So he has this, but then it's in bad shape. He has this, then I think it's in bad shape anyway. Rook c1 to root knight to c6. It's a nice option. That's a nice option. I don't know, guys. Clown Pawn puts his money on bishop takes e7. I would like to put half of my money there and half of my money on e6. So I will put my rating on e6. And f6, I saw it doesn't work because of pawn takes knight. So okay, it would be unfair. Come on, it would be unfair if e6 doesn't win there. Okay, now, if bishop takes, of course he doesn't take. I guess he has a magical move that I don't see because I'm not a good calculator. So I guess he has not a lot of options here, but I guess he has one at least that saves the game. Just not to take the bishop, but preventing the next threat. So I don't know, maybe it's something like this. And here he has blockade. I don't know. Now after f6, of course, I take the knight and it's a free piece because I'm threatening the rook. He can take my bishop. That was like the easiest of all the options. I think this is the most interesting one. I think he has to go to h8 because if he goes here, I have this idea, and whenever he brings the knight here, I have knight e5. I don't know, let's say for example this, check. Knight here, I have knight here, and he has to give up the queen, I think. And if bishop here, this is mate as well. So rook f4 is a really strong threat. So I think he has to go king h8, and what I calculated was this. This. And I was talking about this position before. And he has to go with the knight, I think, because if he goes with the bishop, then he's in trouble. And after knight, here, I thought that this shouldn't work, but I thought this move. And the idea is if he takes with the pawn, I have this. And I'm not even sure if this is winning at all. Like, maybe we're losing. So maybe I miscalculated every of this. I wasn't sure at all. And if here, I can't remember what I thought here. I think I calculated taking the knight because here he goes back. But I'm not even sure of this position. So I probably miscalculated all of this, and that's why I wasn't absolutely sure about this line. Maybe there's something after king h8, maybe there's something better, but I really love to bring the knight here. I also consider king f7, bishop takes e7, moves like that. Maybe bishop takes here is good enough, and then this, yeah, maybe, yeah, this feels strong. And if he goes here, I think once the knight is not defending here, we should have a good attack. But I'm not sure how. Maybe we do have this though. Maybe we do have this. Or maybe not. I don't know, guys. I didn't see it. I was lucky. Let's continue. It was just my gut feeling telling me e6 should be the one. Oh, thank you, Colombo. Now the question is, well, first of all, I didn't realize 10 frames per second, only that. I don't know. But the question is it causing any problems for you? Is the stream slappy or something? Sloppy? What's the word for that? I can't speak English anymore. Okay, I'll continue with the chess. Works fine. Yeah, for tactics, I guess it works fine. But if it's... let me have a look. Maybe I do have that set up somewhere. A bit jittery. The webcam, not a biggie. Well, if it's only the webcam. My software says... It doesn't say. Somewhere I should be able to see that, but I'm not sure where. So I'm it's always being okay. Okay, I continue with the tactics, with the chess. I have like half an hour left from here. So bishop takes b2. Okay, this position, if this is a long king run, I'm not calculating. Well, if it is a long king run, I would definitely calculate. King runs, I calculate. I hate calculating them, but they are like the easiest to calculate. All forcing. Okay, I think what we're all thinking is, why don't we just take the piece and allow this check and then play king g1. Now, he doesn't have more checks, so that's a good point. And the second good point is his queen on f3 is at risk of getting attacked very easily and won, and he doesn't have a good king move to prevent it. So after queen takes king g1, I think he only has the move rook f8 or moving the queen to safety. But safety, I only see this square, and this square. So after queen takes bishop, queen takes f3, king g1, he has 4 moves as far as I see. Rook f8. Oh, do we have bishop f7 then? That would be beautiful. No, we don't. Rook f8, queen d3, queen h5, queen h3, and maybe we don't need to calculate. We're just a piece up. Maybe we don't need to calculate any of those because we already won a piece. If he has to play such passive moves, I mean, maybe the queen moves to h5 or d3 are threatening queen d1 check, but I mean, I can bring the queen back. I don't see any problem. I will take it. I understand. Maybe people could consider queen g2 here and then fall for some type of perpets. Yeah, that might be the problem for that might be the reason why this problem is rated. What's the rating? 2016. I guess many people would fall for this, and then this is a perpetual because we don't want to lose our rook, we don't want to lose our queen, so only move here, check, and only move here, and that's a perpetual. So I guess that's the reason why this puzzle exists in this level. Or bishop b7? Where? Here? In the first move? Where? Okay, so now we have a strong threat here, and the king has no squares, so he has to do one of these moves, I think, and queen f5 as well. Queen f5, I didn't see it, but anyway, neither of those are good enough. Why would black do a perpetual? Are they losing? Well, black is a piece down. So I would do the perpetual if I was black. Here black is a piece down, Colombo. So black would do the perpetual. Yeah. If black won. Well, actually here he hasn't anything better than the perpetual because the queen is always attacked. He has no time to incorporate the rook. So both sides are forced to accept the perpetual in this position. Okay, let's continue. Queen takes e3. Okay, first idea that comes to mind is, why don't I just move the queen out somewhere and his queen is going to be attacked. and the a1 square is juicy, so he doesn't have a lot of good replies, although he might have rook takes e5. He might have that. So for example, queen takes b6, you know, using this fact. Rook takes here, queen takes here, sorry, rook e5, and if queen takes e3, rook takes e3, seems like only white can win. He was down a piece but had 3 more pawns. I don't think so. Had he 3? I didn't see 3 more pawns. Maybe 2. I can give you 2. But the bishop on d5 was awesome, so yeah, he was never going to move the f7 pawn, for example. Anyway, queen d6, better discovery. Queen d6, yeah, that prevents rook e5, which was the thing I was saying. He either moves the queen or puts the rook here, so queen d6 definitely prevents rook e5, and also prevents queen d2. And yeah, it threatens the rook, so it also prevents moves like queen c1. So yeah, good point, Snavel Joel. Queen d6 seems really strong. I can't even think of a defense for white. If knight e4, we can just take it with either piece. So sorry, if knight here, queen d1. So maybe rook here. Maybe there's an argument for rook here. No, Snavel Joel, queen g5 never, rook e1 is mate. The queen has to keep an eye on e1. He can defend both e1 and the rook. That's the good thing about queen d6. I'm thinking queen d6, is rook d5 a defense? I guess I take the rook with the queen. In that, no, that doesn't work either. Is rook d5 a defense? Can't believe it. No, then we take the rook, sorry, then we take the queen. We take the queen, still threatening mate, and that's the point. So he can't take our queen. Yeah. So I'm gonna go queen d6. I don't see a defense. I don't see a defense for him. Yeah. Good one. Next. Whoa, complicated. Oh, we're white. Yeah, I thought we were black, which is confusing, of course, because of how the position is set. I mean, thinking I was black, I don't know how did I think that. Okay, so I'm white. He just moved here, and we're a pawn down, but this knight might be, yeah. This knight here seems okay. Where is this knight going? He has some squares. So maybe it's not about trapping the knight. So then what's our best shot? We might have some ideas to promote the d-pawn. I mean, I don't see any advantage for us in this position. Maybe the bishop. Maybe the bishop can be argued as an advantage. King e3 followed by knight c5. Oh yeah, that's even better. Yeah, Divakaran. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking to just force the trade, and then we do have this knight has to move, and then we do have c6, but then we cannot push the pawn easily, and that was my problem. But of course, yeah, king e3, the knight moves somewhere that it's not check, because here this would be check, but here he has to move the knight, and then we just win the piece. So what can black do here? He's losing the piece anyway. Like if he goes knight c4 or knight f5, I guess he's gonna go knight f5. We take the piece and he takes this pawn, and he's gonna have 2 pawns for the piece. But yeah, in this type of position, the a7 pawn will fall very soon. So yeah, I think that must be the solution. But it's not. So what did I miss here? Maybe this 2 pawns for piece is enough for him to hold the position? Is that what I missed? Huh. Is king e2 better? Well, I think there's not any difference. I hope there's not a difference, but there is. I guess this improves the line because he doesn't take the pawn, the second pawn for the piece. Yeah. Yeah, true. So we go back. So I guess here he takes this pawn, and I feel well, Colombo, you need to attack with the king, especially in the endgame. Because complicated line with bishop a3, preparing knight trap, I thought. Okay, so I think this was the problem. I still feel white is for choice. Well, white is for choice, sure, but maybe it's not enough, the advantage, because of these 2 pawns. And yeah, so many pawns remaining that black might hold. And I guess after king e2, because he has no checks, the point is if he goes here, instead of taking the knight, we go here. But I'm not sure. Ah, yes, because this is defended. Yeah. And he cannot attack this. So yeah, I guess this answers your question, Divakaran. In this line after knight f5, black only gets 1 pawn for the piece, not 2 pawns. So I guess that was the reason why king e2. I honestly didn't consider king e2. No knight f4 inter after g4? I don't think so, because pawn takes f5 is check, but maybe you are right. Ah, this is check as well. Aha. So yeah, minus 22, clown pawn, minus 22. So yeah, I guess king f knight f4, king f3, and if he takes here, I take with check the knight, and if he takes here, I take with check the knight, and of course if he takes here, I take the knight, I guess. And I'm still in time. Yeah, knight takes h3, I take with check. Yeah, but you are true. Here he has a lot of pawns. Is that relevant that the king is away now? Is there anything better here? Is there room for knight c5 now? No, I can't believe this. Or maybe the problem in the other line wasn't knight takes g3. Because this position I'm still not sure if white is winning or not. But maybe white is winning, and maybe in the other line he has something better than that. It's hard to believe that he has something better, but maybe he just takes the a4 pawn, and maybe this is better for black than knight f5, knight takes g3. Maybe this is the reason. Oh, I'm not able to calculate today, so the old puzzle trick applied here. If you can see the difference between two moves, you don't know the solution yet. Absolutely. And actually, if you don't see the difference between two moves, you're gonna fail as well. But what happened to me is that I didn't consider king e2. It wasn't like I said, okay, I see no difference between king e2 or king e3. No, it's just I didn't see king e2. Didn't consider it. Of course I saw, but why would you put your king in diagonal to the knight attacking? Yeah, I didn't consider it. That was my bad. But yeah, a4 falls, and I guess this line is much more holdable for black than the other one. Hey Burak, how are you doing? Someone accepted my 960 60 plus 30 game the other day, but it took about 4 trolls to get a real person. Huh? Okay, let's continue. I have like 15 more minutes. Let's try to get some of the rating back. Okay, an obvious move, sort of obvious, is knight takes f6, rook takes f6 only move, queen takes e8 check. What's my FIDE ELO? My FIDE ELO is 2050. We also have a royal fork here, but of course it's prevented now, so not happening. g4, I'm not sure. What's the material count first? I'm a pawn down. Okay, so I take a pawn and then I take the exchange. So this should be good. Should be good. Does the chat not show under webcam for anyone else? Yeah, I think I have a problem with the chat. And the problem is before the stream I cannot test it easily. So until I'm streaming I don't see if it worked or not, and it didn't. The thing is I'm adding the chat, putting okay, show text color in white, and for some reason it seems like it's showing the text in black, and since the background is black you don't see the messages, you only see your names, so kind of confusing. Yeah, the text is black on the background, but I can promise I put it white over black. Anyway, I will work on it. I will. Okay, knight takes f6, rook takes, queen takes e8 check. The king has to move to h7. There's no other good move. And is it good enough already, or do I have to continue the line? I mean, I already won an exchange. I have no, I don't have perpetual. But I can take on e5 next, so I can take a second pawn. 2 pawns and an exchange? Oh, come on, I'll go for that. Yeah. This was so easy. Like, the first move you think is the one. Why does it have 2000? Rating is 2039. I guess maybe people sees this and wants to make g4 work. I don't know. Let's continue. Okay, our queen is attacked. I can see that. We have a check to win a tempo and then try to trap black's queen, because, you know, this queen. So that would be my first idea. Can I trap that queen? The problem is the queen is trapped already. The problem is how to attack it. G1 and H2 are defended by the knight. An important thing is, after the check, he has to move knight e7, because if he goes away, I can have... no, I cannot. He has bishop h6. Sorry, I thought I had queen to f6. Anyway, queen f5 seems logical, but maybe what I need to do is queen e4 to pin the knight, and then being able to play rook g1 to win the queen. So queen e4, if... yeah, but he has one tempo. Like, for example, let's say he plays, I don't know, bishop g7, rook g1, he threatens my queen. Okay, I take the rook with check, yeah, absolutely. But let's say he threatens it with the other rook. Ah, my queen is defended, so I take his queen. Yeah, okay, so queen e4, f5, queen takes f5, and queen back. So queen e4, what can he do? Knight h4? Ah, okay, he can go knight h4 before I go rook g1, but then... no, then I don't have a check. Then the knight might be trapped. Queen e4, knight h4, queen takes g2, knight takes g2, bishop takes g5, followed by rook g1. Is that the way? Because he can't go f6. Well, he can. Ah, but my knight's still defending f4. So if he goes f6, I just take it. Queen e4, knight h4, queen takes queen, knight takes queen, bishop takes g5. Rook e8, rook d g1. Well, actually, rook h g1 also works. Feels right. I'm gonna do it. And I failed. Hey, I went below 2500, redefining my goals. Now I have to change the title of the stream. Okay, let's see if at least I can solve one or two more. Let's go here now. No. So what's the idea? Queen f6? No, queen f6 is not possible. Oh, it was so easy. It was so easy. All forcing. Why? No. No, it wasn't. The answer is always take the pawn. No, that cannot be the answer. Absolutely not. Yeah, I thought rook dg1 and it didn't work, and rook hg1 didn't work either. And then I thought, okay, if rook dg1 works, rook hg1 should work anyway. Yeah, I guess he has the h2 square. Rook dg1, knight takes, rook takes, queen h2. And yeah, it doesn't work. For a second, I thought the same. This is confusing. So queen e4 does not work here. Why? Is his queen really trapped? 94, I guess he takes it. Yeah, I thought 94, but if he takes it, my queen is on pre, so I have to take it. Ah, but his queen is still trapped. Ah, that was the idea. Yeah, true that. True that. True. Still not sure how to continue. Well, I guess this can't be bad. And bishop takes. Yeah, because my queen is on pre. Ah, now queen takes and rook takes. Wow. Or bishop. I wasn't even close to see all of this. So what's the problem with this? I thought, maybe I'm wrong, I thought here I should be winning material, but maybe I'm not. Or maybe knight h4 is not the answer for black in that variation. I saw this, and that's why I played queen e4. But maybe here he has g4 actually. No, g4, knight f4, right? Yeah, that cannot be good. So, oops. What does he have here? Why was it bad? Yeah, that's the question. I don't see anything better than knight h4 for him. I mean, he can try this and give up that pawn to prevent the pin, but then I will go back. Does that make a difference? I don't see it. Like here, even, well, I'm not sure. Let's say here, I go back. Well, then he has additional options, that's true. So maybe he needs to go for this. Not sure, guys. Okay, it's 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna continue to see if I can regain any pawns or lose even more. Okay, it was a pity. It was a pity. Okay, a lot of stuff hanging here. A lot of stuff hanging. This is a puzzle, Michael Thriller. These are puzzles. So it wasn't bad, you win more the other way. More than a piece. The thing is, you know, the puzzles on liches, if you they usually have only one solution. I think they have only one solution. You know, if at some point more than one option is good, the puzzle stops there, doesn't go further. And the solution is when it's +2 at least. So winning a piece should be a solution. If it's not, it's because I didn't understand something and it's not winning a piece. Anyway, what happens in this position? What happens? Do I have any checkmate ideas? I don't see them. Like, for example, the simple queen c2. What are... Queen takes knight, right? Queen c2, queen takes g5. And then I cry. It is either checkmate or winning a piece. Well, not. It's checkmate, winning a piece, winning an exchange. It's just +2 at least of engine evaluation. In this position, for example, we're absolutely equal material, so winning a piece, like this, for example, will make it. Winning an exchange, for example, winning this rook for this bishop, would be as well. Knight takes h7. Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it, but I don't have a good follow-up. I don't have a good follow-up. I mean, I guess he takes because his rook is hanging, so he cannot take the bishop. That's important because we have this. So I think I prefer queen d6. Greco mate. I don't see the Greco mate here for several reasons. One reason is the rook, another reason is the knight. So I don't see it. Anyway, queen d6, I like it because it threatens the knight and he can take our knight because of the rook hanging on f8. So queen d6, forking this knight and this rook. What can he do? If he saves the rook, I take the knight and the queen is still pinned. This pawn is pinned, I mean. Queen d6 wins? Maybe he has queen f6. But queen takes f2 is not made because I have the two rooks, so I guess I just take his rook. Queen f6, queen takes rook, pawn takes bishop. Queen d6, queen f6, queen takes b8. If he takes on f2, then I just move the king and his knight will be on pre. And he can never go knight g4 without taking my bishop first. So queen d6, knight c6, says Snabel. Yes. Yes, knight f7 as clown pawn suggests at least wins the exchange. I saw that. I was trying to find something even stronger. I guess winning the exchange is good because then we threaten queen takes c6 as well. But we cannot do it in the first place. Or maybe we can. No, we cannot, because the bishop is hanging on e6. Okay, so yeah, after knight c6, at least we win an exchange. That should be good enough, because I don't see anything particularly good for black as compensation. So yes, why not? What else can black try? Knight f3 check? No. Bishop a6, bishop b7 doesn't lead anywhere. So I guess queen f6 is the normal reply. I don't see anything better. Or maybe, maybe bishop a6. No, but then I take this, defend this, and he can still take my bishop. Yeah, so queen d6, queen f6, I take the rook, I think. And he might play bishop a6 first. And then take on f2 or something. Or take my bishop. Still, bishop a6 doesn't threaten anything, or bishop, yeah. So I failed pretty much every puzzle today. It's better to check triple. Yeah, I failed. How many times did I fail today? At least three. At least three. So yeah, but I'm desperate. I want to win my points back. So I will play. I've played queen d6, and I want to play queen takes rook. Let me play it. Queen takes rook. Bishop h6. I just go away. I mean, once we play this, I think I have nothing better than taking here. Well, maybe there's an argument for knight e4, because he cannot take my bishop still. I defend f2. There's definitely an argument for knight e4. I guess he can try queen to f4, because I cannot play g3. So knight e4, queen f4, and then he threatens, then I cannot take the rook because of knight f3 check. So I guess knight e4 doesn't work. Let me take the rook. Yeah. Almost failed there, almost failed. This would be embarrassing. This would be embarrassing. Okay, I don't have time for more, which is a pity because I'm in 2498. So I'm gonna leave it here. Colombo says, when you're black, do you count the alphabet backwards to know the tiles, or do you always see it from one perspective, white's corner? I think I actually don't see it from any perspective. I mean, I know, for example, I don't know, I know d3 is a white square, 2 squares in front of white's queen. I don't mind if I'm watching the board from white's perspective or from black's perspective. I know that the square is there, it belongs to white. I don't know. I guess I really watch it from some perspective, because sometimes when I see a board from a side, sometimes I tend to miss some moves. So I guess in my mind definitely there's some perspective, but I'm not aware of that. I guess it's just practice. We're used to play white or black, and we know when we play white that we short castle to the right, and when we play black we short castle to the left. I don't know. Do you play bullet chess? Yes, absolutely, every day. I play bullet every day. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I really have to leave now. Thank you. It was 2 hours. I went down a lot of points in this stream. I hope I can get that back. This Saturday we don't have chess league here, so I won't play. So on Sunday I won't analyze my Saturday game because there's no such a game, but I'm probably streaming anyway some, I don't know, variants or tournaments, or I don't know, we'll see. Okay, thank you, Snavel, thank you for that. See you later then. Let's see how the candidates is going. Bye bye.